This is the plaintiff, Jerry Christian. He says he moved into an apartment the defendants were renting, and there's a bunch of stuff blocking his windows. He can't get fresh air. He suffers from PTSD from serving his time in the Navy, and the defendants refuse to give him a break on the rent. He's suing for $4,450 for a rent rebate. These are the defendants, Javier de los Santos Sr. and his son, Javier de los Santos. They say the plaintiff complains about noise issues from his unit, and that's strange to them because the guy sits on his front patio playing musical instruments. He's the one causing the noise problem in the neighborhood. They refuse to lower the rent, and, well, here they are. They're accused of being uncaring landlords. The defendants have filed a countersuit for $1,550 for a damaged bar cart and loss of business.
All parties, please raise your right hands. The People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Milian presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
All right, Mr. Christian, you are renting like a guest house on the property that Mr. De Los Santos owns?
Yes, ma'am.
And then his son, Javier Jr., lives in the main house. Is that correct, Mr. De Los Santos?
Yes.
Okay. How much are you paying in monthly rent?
$1,500.
Okay. And you are in Los Angeles?
Yes. Specifically, North Hills.
Right now, is this a year-long lease that you're in the middle of, or are you in a month-to-month tenancy?
Well, when we first started, Mr. De Los Santos offered like a 3-month to 6-month lease, and then I let him know that that I would most likely need a year lease.
Well, did you ever sign one?
No, he
right.
never.
Then what you have is if you didn't insist on it and you didn't before moving in or before giving rent or whatever else, then what you have by operation of law is a month-to-month tenancy. So what was the problem that led to all of this? Tell me.
Well, there's 2 windows that are on the side of the guest house. There's a gate that has access to the guest house, which is they got permits to build. So there's a gate that divides both units.
Okay.
So I have 2 windows there where they block the windows with furniture and wood and whatnot. So I can't open the windows or the curtains to get fresh air in.
Do you have any pictures of that?
This is the access way.
Okay.
That's where the 2 windows are at. And you can see in the far back, that's where the gate is.
Right.
And on the other side where the furniture is at, that's where my windows are at.
Okay. So
that's one picture.
Did you tell them to move the furniture? You want to be able to open your windows and not see that?
Yes, I asked them on several times, and then it just never happened.
So, you're suing for $4,450. You want half the rent for 5 months, and you also want your security deposit back. You're living there now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Why is it that you're suing for half of the rent back?
Well, I'm suing for half of the rent back because I've constantly asked them to reduce the noise and the foot traffic. The foot traffic goes on. It could be during the day. It could be during the evening time after normal business hours when they're making the noise. They don't give me any type of notice. I don't mind the parties that they have. Mr. De Los Santos Sr., he's a good guy. I didn't even want to file this, but it was just a situation where I'm not getting, the respect, and I'm paying rent on time. I just want the noise and the foot traffic by my 2 windows to cease so I can be able to sleep. Okay. I go to work just like everyone else.
Right. And so is there foot traffic during the nighttime when most people are sleeping?
Yes, they've been in the back on occasions at 9 p.m., 10 p.m., grabbing stuff in the back. Okay.
So did you speak about this to your landlord, the elder Mr. Santos?
Yes, we had a conversation with. Yes, we did.
And what did he say?
And when we had that conversation, I even asked, can I get a discount on the rent since I have to go through this situation? And he immediately said no.
Right, but he doesn't have to give you a discount on the rent. There's nothing even keeping you there. You're in a month to month. Why don't you just leave if it's so bad? Like, in other words, you're suing to have me impose a contract on him that you didn't strike. You didn't strike a deal for $750 for that house that has those windows in that walkway right next to the two houses with only 3 or 4 feet apart. You didn't strike that deal. You struck a deal to pay $1,500 for that. Now, the younger Mr. De Los Santos has a counterclaim against him for $1,500 for 3 lost gigs and the destruction of a bar cart. Tell me about that.
Yes, that is correct. One evening, I was coming home from work, and my mother that was babysitting my kids, and she called me that someone was throwing things from the back of the house. And we rushed home. We came home. Very scared. We called the police to see what was going on, and it was Jerry throwing all my stuff over the gate, which caused him to break. He broke my bar, and I lost gigs because it was a Friday evening, and all my events come on the weekend. So I had to cancel. I started my small business, and now I have to cancel those events because I didn't have a cart to work with. Also, in that situation, the police was called. There was a pursuit for Mr. Jerry. He ran away from the police officers. There was a helicopter. It became a big deal.
Did you get arrested that night, Mr. Christian?
Yes, I did.
What's happening with the criminal charges on this?
Well, they charged me for vandalism.
Right.
So
what is this a video of, Mr. De Los Santos?
This is a video of me calmly putting my stuff away in my side of the yard when Mr. Jerry comes out. Well, he pops out of the window, and he's going to tell me that if I have a problem with him.
Again?
Is this after the arrest?
Yes, this is after. This is right the next day after.
When I saw Javier, I just let him know if there was a problem that, we could just, solve it, and get past this.
What are you talking about? I mean, you got arrested for destroying his bar cart and his livelihood. That's what you got arrested for. What's happening with the arrest? Is it pending?
I didn't destroy it.
Did you go to court yet for the arrest? Did you go to court yet for the arrest?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so you have a lawyer and it's ahead of you, or what?
Yes, I have a court date that's pending.
Mr. De Los Santos Sr., did he complain to you about noise from your son's house?
Yes, he did. He did one time. He did. He called me and he texted me and he told me, "Hey, listen, Javier, I need to talk to you both guys. You don't know, but listen, I'm sleeping right now. Yeah, but there was a 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Jerry. Yeah, I don't care, but it's you guys going back." And I say, "Listen, my son, they got a staff in the back. The stuff like he need to work to working to make money to pay my rent for the house." And Jerry, he say, "You know what? No, the only thing that you can do this is if you lower the price of the rent." And I say, "Jerry, I'm sorry, but I cannot do that." And because I don't see any difference between lower the rent to go and back to make a noise to pass in the sidewalk.
Well, you don't. Here's how it works, folks. You have an agreement with him, and you have to provide a peaceful environment. That is part of the law. But you have an agreement with him that's a month to month because there's no lease. So before it gets to this horrible place, tell him to go. Did you ever tell him, "Hey, go"?
I tell him the last time he paid the rent for this month.
Okay.
I tell him, "Jerry, I know your money is value and everywhere. The only thing that you can do, please, Jerry, can you find some place like you live better here?"
But you don't want to leave because you've already moved in there and you've made it your own and you want to stay there, right?
Right. And the thing, Your Honor, is that they have a big enough backyard that he could store his things back there. I have pictures where their backyard is huge.
Right, but he's still going to walk up and down a hallway, an alleyway he has a right to walk up and down. That's not yours to say no one can walk there.
But the access way leads to my patio and my 2-car carport. That L-shaped access way is part of the ADU unit.
Says who?
If you look at if it's permitted If it was
So what?
If it was
What?
permitted
So
to
what
be
though?
built,
Well, how does that mean that the main
a
house
gate
can't use it?
separates-
No,
a
you're
gate
making
separates
stuff
the
up. That
front
doesn't mean
yard
the
and the
main
back.
house can't use it. Mr. De Los Santos Jr., what proof do you have that you missed 3 gigs?
Can I show you through my phone?
What are you
where I
going to
have
show
the,
me?
On Instagram, we do our
Unless you're going to show me contracts 3 in a row for that weekend, don't bother, because that's what I'm asking. See, right. You got to be
Okay.
able to prove your loss. You can't just say, hey, this got, ruined. Mr. De Los Santos Sr., you made that cart for your son?
Yes.
Did you see the damaged cart?
Yes. I see the wheels. You can see the wheels in the picture.
I can see the wheels in the picture. What
right.
what
One
else was
car with
damaged
one-
besides the wheel?
One car with the wheels doesn't work.
Right, but what else was damaged besides? Because you're not showing me a picture of an actual destroyed cart. You're showing me a bunch of wood and one wheel. What actually was damaged from the? Excuse me. What actually was damaged from the cart, Mr. De Los Santos?
The wheel and the roof. The roof that was in the alley right there, and he stopped in it, so the roof they break it.
Now, Mr. Christian, explain to me how you come up with the figure, I want my rent reduced for the past 5 months by 50% because there's noise sometimes.
Well, there's just not noise sometimes. It's on multiple occasions. And then
how often would you say?
It's every day.
Okay. So you've given me a few videos to prove that part of your case. What is that?
That's the noise.
No, but what is it?
This is it. This is every day.
Right, but what is it? Is it a chainsaw? Is it a lawnmower? Is it a blower?
In the back they were cutting in the back they were cutting wood. So I couldn't even open up the kitchen window because dust was coming in.
What are you building back there, Mr. De Los Santos Jr.?
That is a leaf blower, ma'am. We like to keep our patio, our backyard clean. We have a lot of trees. So the leaf blower, so we like to clean the house. I'm sorry for having a clean home for my kids to enjoy.
Hey, Javier, you're banging on that wall, man.
Sorry, man, we're just supposed to go milk.
That was at 9 p.m. at night on the 23rd.
Yeah, you said, Javier, stop banging on that wall. And he says, sorry, man. I have a question. Have you terminated his month-to-month tenancy? There's a legal way to do that. You are not hostage to having him stay there. He doesn't have a lease.
Right.
He's there month to month.
Nope.
So familiarize yourself with what the law is. You just have to give him a notice that every state is different. You have to find out what it is in your state of, where are you? California. But you have to give him a notice saying, I hereby terminate your tenancy. You don't even have to have a reason. You don't have to have him there if this kind of problem is happening between all of you. You know, you're not hostage.
Yes, it's exactly like I told you before. This month, when they just pay me, I tell them, Jerry, please, it's better for you.
Yeah, but that's not how you give notice. You have to give notice in writing. You have to post it on his door. You have to wait a certain amount of time. And if he doesn't leave, then you go to eviction court. You have to educate yourself. Right. And now with the internet, all those forms will be online. And you don't have to hire a lawyer or anything. You just take care of it so that he leaves your property and your son has peace and he has peace somewhere else. Because here's the thing I don't get, Mr. Christian. If it's unlivable, then don't live there. You're telling me it's so unlivable. I want a 50% rent reduction for 5 months. I have 2 videos. I've never called the police. And I damaged, and I got arrested for throwing wood over because I was angry when they made noise one night. It's not looking so good for you, Mr. Christian. On your lawsuit against the De Los Santoses for half of your rent back and your security deposit back, no, your remedy is to move. It's not for me to change your contract. And on your counterclaim against him, Mr. De Los Santos Jr., you have to be, for you to be able to sue for $1,050 in lost income, you would have to prove to me that you had 3 contracts you couldn't show up at. So you're not going to get that. I am going to award you $300 for the repair of the cart. And that is my verdict. Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So in this case, the plaintiff loses, the defendant prevails for $300 against the plaintiff. Mr. Christian, let me just ask you something. After having gone through all this trouble, why don't you just up and move?
Yeah, it's time to get out. But that takes time. Like I just moved in there, gave a deposit, first month's rent, and I fixed up the property to be suitable for company to come over. So I just have to go by the decision that was made today.
All right. Well, let's see what you're going to have to pay $300 and some bucks now to help him repair that cart. I know that's not, and then you got to go to court for the arrest possibility. So you got problems up ahead. Mr. De Los Santos, let me ask you something. Are you going to take an effort to have him evicted from your property, Mr. De Los Santos Sr.? What do you think?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's the second step I have to do it, because if you, Mr. Jerry, they don't want to move verbal and talking with him, if you don't want to move to that way, I have to do this.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. Obviously, there's a story here that will be continuing. Who knows how it's going to end up. Harvey, what do you think about this?
So, Doug, one of the reasons the plaintiff did not get money here is that he's relying on what we call in the law a warranty of habitability. That means even if it's not mentioned specifically in the lease, every lease guarantees a tenant the right to be reasonably safe and to have what we call in the law quiet enjoyment, which is a peaceful place. That warranty to be broken, there has to be something really extreme going on. It simply didn't happen here.
So Marilyn, what's your favorite photo and why?
Okay, my favorite photo just happened to have popped up on, because I was looking, when I saw the viewer question, I was looking at some photo, and while I'm looking at it, my favorite photo popped up.
Your photos pop up randomly.
They do. I have some setting. I didn't even do anything. I don't know why this happens. I don't know, but I'm really happy about it.
You're always reminiscing.
Yeah, I'm always reminiscing and sending people pictures. But this is a picture of the first time we won an Emmy. Right. And we're there together to receive it. So it's actually the second time we won an Emmy. But, we had stopped going because we weren't winning. So, of course, we won the year we didn't go. Right. And then we went the second time, and we won that time as well. So it was just so joyous to have everybody together and get this picture. It was a lot of fun.
That is awesome. And it's so funny that there's like 8 people there or whatever, however many, and everybody's got this kind of sober and serious look, and you're just like having fun and going, ah! That's good. You didn't pick a glamour shot.
No, I don't pick glamour shots.
That's very like you. Okay, my favorite photo changes all the time. And I do have one that's a screensaver, like wallpaper, that I keep of you and me when we were younger. But this one came up the other day, and I really like it. This one's just you and me, I guess about maybe 2 months ago, 3 months ago. That was in the late
spring.
Where
were we, in the Bay?
Out on Biscayne Bay, and just catching the sunset. And
yeah,
you're a
we look so peaceful.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and the sunset is beautiful.